Hi there, this is Rohit and this is fifth video of my tutorials. In the last video we talked about Hello World programs and we also discussed about few of the statement which we have mentioned it there. Okay, in this video we will talk about data types, variables and constants. So data types mean what all data type is supported by Go language. So broadly if you want to see, so data types which is supported by this Go language is we can categorize in five groups. Okay, one thing is missing in here, okay, which is the byte data type, but which I can explain you once we will be discussing this through the example. Okay, so this is first one is like numeric data type. So from the term itself, as you know, so this numeric data type, it will talk about the integer and decimal values. Okay, if you want to perform any operation on the numerical data type, so we will go with the int or float. Okay, then after we will talk about a string. So string in itself is nothing but it is the group of bytes, and each byte represents some character. Okay, character data type is not there in Go language. Instead of character data types, they have replaced it with a byte. Okay, byte is nothing, it will point to each character of the string. Okay, then after there is boolean data type. So again boolean data type is data type which only store two value, which is true or false. Then after we will be talking about derived data types, which is from name itself you can figure it out, it has been derived from some existing data type. So there is primitive data types like booleans, integer, float, bytes, right? So using that existing data type, we create a custom data type as per our needs that will call as a derived data type, like pointer, array of maybe integer, array of maybe string, that is also derived. Then we'll talk about structure, map, and interface. We'll see, we will understand more about it as we go forward. Okay, I will just write a few examples just to see for all these data types. Okay, first we will talk about numeric. So numeric data type is subdivided into two categories. One is the int one where we will be storing the integer data type. Okay, another will be the decimal value which will be storing into the float variable. Okay, so okay, now I will give some example for integer data type. Here I, which is type of integer, I will put some value I is equal to 10 and fm dot print a value of variable I which is of type percent %t and value is percent %t. You want to see the type of which variable I and you want to print the value of I. Okay, semicolon is not required, we'll just store it. So see, I will just explain about this statement. Okay, so there is the string. Okay, now you want to print the type of this variable. Okay, so for that one we use a percent %t. If you want to print the value of this variable, so we will be using the percent %t. So if you want to print the value of any variable, okay, so the this percent %d will change according as per the type of the variable. For example, here we are using a int, so we are putting a percent %d. Okay, assume this type of this I variable was not int, it was float, so percent %d will not work, we have to use the percent of f. In the same way, if it is going to change as a string data type, so this one will also get changed percent %s to print the string. If it is like, if you want to print the character value of any bytes, so in that case you can print a percent %g. So percent %save. So as we go forward, so we will be coming, like we will see the example, and as per the scenario we will be seeing the more such example and you will get a better understanding. Okay, so I will just print. So what it will print? Percentage type of ib is what? This is int, so right, it will print a int. And what is the value? 10. So it will print value of variable I which is of type int and values 10. Okay, just run it. Say value of variable I which is of type int, okay, and value is 10. Okay, in the same way we can see for the float data type. Okay, so float you cannot directly put the float. There is two data type. There is two way to declare a float variable. One is the float 32 and another one is the float 64. So float 32 and what is 64? So 32 and 64 represents the number of bits which this variable will be using to store the decimal value. So if you're putting float 32, right, so it will be storing 32 bits of the memory to store this value. Okay, now we'll bring percent image type. As I told you, as we got data type of this I variable is floating, so what I have to do, I have to use a percent %f to print the value of I. See, it is coming as 10. So you'll be thinking why there is decimal values. As float is there, so it will automatically append the decimal, okay, decimal value with the it. Okay, now we'll be, if you want to print 64, right, so what will be there, this time will be also value will be same. See, only difference is it will be taking a more number of bit to store the same value. So how we will know what is the size which is allocating from the memory level? For that one we use a size of variable I, right? Then I'll be size means it will be like integer value, that will put percent %d, then unsafe dot size of I, right? Unsafe, right? Yes. So unsafe is like again one package. We will provide a method of size of where we can pass the variable for which we want to print the size, right? I will keep here new line. So how much it will print the size? So I will tell you one thing which is like kind of tricky. You will get confused. How? So here you are putting the 64, right? Remember, whenever you are declaring the variable, here we put the number of bits which is getting used to store the value, the 64 bits. But when you will be printing the size of the variable, it will be in the bytes. Okay, so one byte has a 8 bits. Okay, so here is the 64 bit. The how many byte it will be occupying? So divide 64 divided by 8 means 8 bytes. So here it will print the 8 bytes. See, size of the variable is 8. If you change it to the 32, so it will show you 4 bytes. Fine. Now we will be discussing about bytes. As I told you, string is the array of the bytes. So firstly we will discuss about the bytes, then we will go for the string. Okay. So I will declare a value I which is of type byte. Now I will store some value. I told you byte is like, okay, so you have to think two ways. So you can store directly character to this I variable which is of type byte, or you can put the ASCII value as well. Okay, so 1 2 if you are putting, so this is coming as a ASCII value. So okay, so we will see that on later. Okay, firstly I will store a character which is a. Now what I will do, I will print if type of I is %t and character value is %c and ASCII value is %t. I will just put the I at all three places, right? Based on this percent type, right? It will print corresponding value. Okay. So now you can see type of variable I is unit 8, unint 8, and character value is A, okay, which is A, and ASCII value is 97, right? So here you can put a 97 as well, still we will be getting the same output. See, A 97. So now you got the difference, right? With what is the, if you can store the integer as well, and you can store the character as well. Okay. So if you're putting some ASCII value, so internally it will convert to some integer by putting a percent %c. Okay. If you're putting the character, if you're putting some character value also, so internally it will convert it to ASCII, which if you print the %d, so it will print the ASCII value. If you do the %c, in that case it will print the character value. Okay. Now we'll be talking about string. Okay, string means it will be an array of bytes or character. This is Rohit, right? Now I told you as data type is getting changed, so the way we have to print this value will be different. %c for character, %8 for the value, and as because this is not any character or byte, we will not be printing the ASCII value, right? Now what will be there? This is of the type string and it will print the value for I, right? Which is this is Rohit. So type of variable is string and character value is this is Rohit. This is not character value, just value, and value is this is Rohit. Okay, now we will discuss about booleans, right? So booleans is like, as you know, it only store flag, var, var, flag, boolean. So we have declared variable flag of type boolean. Okay, now we'll store some value true. Okay, and then what we'll do, if flag is equal to true, print this is condition for true value. Okay, and we can percent d will see flag. Okay, so what is print format percent download flag for wrong type? So what will be the right way? Percent p, right? Percent p will should be the right way, right? So as because you have set it here true, it will just check flag is equal to true, then it will go in this condition. If it is false, then it will go in that condition, and to print the value of this flag we have used the %b. So I will give you like a one basic idea. If you don't know like whether you have to print a %d or %s or %c, in that case you can try to use the %v. Okay, so most of it should work fine. If you don't know how you want to print it, so you just put it like %b. Okay, now I will see, this is the condition for true, value is true. Value is %v of the flag true. Okay, now it will go for false condition. So what I will do, I will just put the false. So it will go to else condition. So if you want to keep something else, it will not take as, because it will only take either true or false, right? Now we will be discussing about derived data types. So I will not go in detail in derived data types because there's so many things which we'll be talking later on about the structure, interface, pointer. So there we will discuss in details. I'll just give you one example. What I told you, derived data type is a data type which come out from the primitive data type, which is existing, maybe like integer or maybe string or bytes, anything like. So data type is the best example. Struct data type is the word custom, like type imply struct. So I've created a data type imply. Now here we can provide multiple primitive data type like var name. I will just give name, which is of type string, then after is, which is type of int, right? Now what I will do, I will create a variable of imply, right? Var imply. Now what I will do, I will assign value for them. Rohit emp dot is equal to 30. Oh, fmp dot printf. Okay, type of struct is percent %t and value is %p. Okay, and emp is the variable we have declared. You got it right. So percent will be like imply and %p will be whatever value it is containing. Okay, so see, type of a struct is the main imply, right? So it will be always prefixed with the name of the package, as because it is declare this struct custom struct data type inside the main package, so it will be prefixed with the package name dot structure name, right, which we had declared, and value is the Rohit and 30, which we have as in which with which I have initialized the imply variable, right? Here's one tricky thing. What if there is 4 or 5 things there, right? In name, age, address, and all, right? So how we will be like mapping which string value is for which one, right? Just by saying it, you will get confused. If you want to exchange what is the attribute not for which it is got assigned. So in that case, you can use one more. I will just give you for reference has be, right? So it will give you the attribute value as well as what is the corresponding value. So I will keep it here new line. So first one it is coming Rohit and 13. The second one you can see it is coming main dot imply. For name attribute value is Rohit and for age attribute value is 30. Okay, so this is like a derived data type, right? A second thing is like that this is like heterogeneous string int, we are just combining all together. There is homogeneous derived data type will be there, right? But which will be where I carry int. So what I have done now, I have created declare a variable I which is of time int, but it is the group of, right, group of element, means 4 type integer will be get store. So this is also a derived data type which has been come from the int, right? This will be homogeneous. Okay, so that is why we have also mentioned here array structure map and all we will be seeing as we'll go forward. So I hope I have like given some enough information, or you might be having some enough understanding now, right? What all data type is there. Okay, now we will be talking about variables. So whatever example I will show you now, okay, don't worry about this integer and all these things, right? Once we will be explaining about all the inbuilt data structure which is provided by Go, right? We will discuss in detail later on. Okay. variables. So variables is like placeholder to store any value, any data type's value. Okay, and there is syntax to declare variable is whenever you are declaring any variables, you have to keep the var keyword, then after variable name, and then after data type. This is syntax to declare any variable, which you have already seen, like var name string. So what we get, we have declare a variable name which is of that type string, and then after we can initialize with some value. And name is equal to Rohit. Now we can print it. Print for name is first name. See, value for name is Rohit. You can use as well as it will also work fine. But you have to keep in mind it is always good to start with percent %p. Okay, if you are not getting what you are expecting, then after you can search for other way like percent %s or percent %c. But most probably percent %p will make your work. See, still it will work percent %s or percent %p. Okay, and this is like syntax to just declare any particular variable. You can do variable as well as assigning to it together. Okay, this is also fine. So what we are doing here, we are declaring a variable name which is of type string and initializing with the value Rohit, right? And then constant. Okay, for constant, how it should be. So declaring a constant, what you have to use the const keyword, then after you put the variable name, and then after is equal to, and we assign it some value, constant value. Okay, so what do you think is, if you're seeing the constant variable, how it is different from the normal variables? So I will tell you, like variable is the any type of variable which value will keep on changing as we'll see in the program. Okay, but constant variable is there. Once we have initialized the value for the variable, it will never change. It will be constant throughout the application. Okay, now I will declare one variable const, then after I will put pi 3.142. Three point four. I am not sure what is the correct value for pi, right? 3.1 pi. I think most probably 140. I will just assume, okay? So this is the pi in mathematics, you know, right? So value of the pi, it never gets changed. Whatever it is there, so in such kind of value declaration we do, we will keep it as like constant. So we know that this is never going to change. So as per the need, you can use. So I follow the same way, right? Const keyword, variable name, and then assign with a constant value. Okay. Now if I do the println value for the constant is percent p, right? So 143. Value for constant is 143. Now we want to change that value for pi variable later on in the exam, in our application or in our code. So right, what I will p is equal to for any put, I am putting just any value, right? If I without print value for pi is percent p, right? See, so what it is telling, cannot assign to pi constant. So as because this is constants, will not be assigned any new value, right? If you just make it var, then it will work completely fine, right? It will allow, it will let you do the change the value of variable pi. Fine. First time it is value this one, and another time the value for variable is got changed. Okay, here one more thing is there. Okay, you can keep in mind, earlier I told you you can declare the variable with here int, okay, or maybe float, as because this is decimal 32, right? So you can declare this one as well, or you can change it, you can make it like sort, right? As because even if you're not putting the type of the data type for pi, it will, like, compiler will figure it out from the value which you're assigning. Okay, that is why the keeping the data type here like float is optional. You got it? So if you want to keep it, fine. If you don't want to keep it, that is also fine. Go will figure it out from the value which you're putting it. Okay, so we talk about the data types, variable. We also discuss about the constant, right? So hope, I think you have got the enough understanding about the data types, variables, and constant. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching this video. I will be seeing you in the next video of the tutorial. Thank you so much.